These guys are fighting pretty close right now. 17 of Christian Budd managing to hold on. And now they're going to have to deal with the 38 of Thomas Harmon, who's going to make it 3 wide on the inside. They've gotten the 17 of Christian Budd clear. And now Thomas fighting for the lead, giving a little bit of a bump there to Gerald West. Gerald rolling with the punches. They're going 3 wide again, coming off a turn 4. This can be a little bit of a sticky situation, especially if you're the car in the middle. Gotta make sure you give enough space to both the cars around you. And this is absolutely incredible that these guys are still 3 wide. Oh, and Thomas Harmon has gotten loose. Can he save it? He can. Well done, Thomas Harmon. But that was some incredible racing there on display by those guys. Going Brian Chambliss on the win. We're just going to quickly go have a look at what happened to Hernandez here at the very end. Ooh. Alright, that's a little bit of he said, she said there. We won't worry too much about that one though. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Aussie Sim Commentator channel and welcome to the Gladiator at the Glen from the Watkins Glen International Raceway. Of course, we are next gen racing here at Watkins Glen, which is going to be very, very exciting. I think we should be just about getting ready to do a pit party. Obviously, with this being a road course, everyone's going to be having to find somewhere to get lined up. And I think we've got some people lining up towards the final straight. So let's go have a look. If we could find a good camera angle for it. There we go. We're all lining up here on the exit of the carousel to what would be the re-entry point for IndyCar. Everyone just getting themselves into position. And it looks like we're rolling. We try to find another camera angle again. There we go. Christian Budd's going to be leading the way by the looks of things. Just waiting for everyone to sort themselves out. Oh, Jaron. He wants the pole. There's now Christian, you can start on the outside for this one. Alright, here we go. Now we've got almost everyone nestled into this one. They're coming out of turn 7 to get ready to start their pit party here, and we're off and racing. Oh, great start by the outside lane, not so good for the inside. There's Christian Budd leading the way. I can hear shenanigans. I can see shenanigans. Oh, Sanchez is just killing everyone. Look at the pile up. Holy Jeebus. They're almost going to have to re-rack him and stack him and run it again. Oh, there's more contact. John Lazelle and Chris Champeau. So this could actually be an interesting road course race. It's not something we say too often here. And it looks like they are, in fact, going to re-rack them and stack them and run it again. Like everyone's getting back into the groove of going again. We're all getting lined up. Hopefully a much cleaner start this time. Looks like Sanchez having some more issues there. Oh, Travis cutting across the nose of Frank unintentionally. Let's bring up the standings now. Christian Budd currently leading the way with a 1:12.9. Ryan Pizzakemi with a 1:13.1 to take away P2 so far. Kyle Kraus is in third with a 13.1. Got Matt Horton, Thomas Harmon as your top 5. Lazelle, Williamson, Crampton, Sanchez, and Niederhelm wrapping up your top 10. But there's nearly a full 3 seconds difference between Budd and Niederhelm in 10th. And so far, only 18 people have been able to put in laps. Chambliss, Scott Nicky, and William Alcala? Yeah, William Alcala has not put down laps yet. William was actually having trouble getting to one of the pit party groups earlier. I saw him spun out in the middle of 1 and 2. Oh, sorry, 2 and 3. I forget that we're not on an oval. There's more than just 4 corners. Oh, TJ Crampton spinning out of the final corner. I think he was trying to get to the pits anyway. Nicely done. 10 out of 10 from the Russian judge. He would have given it a 12 out of 10, but he said needs more vodka. There's the 6 of Belle Wells. She's currently in 17th with a 16.3. Contact between Mark Axelson and I think that was Niederhelm. Got a couple new names that have just joined in on the league recently. So we'll see if we can get through them here. So we'll start with the 76 car of Mr. Mark Axelson, who is currently in 13th in the standings. He has a 0.9k on the road with an A license, 3.4. Remember, all the licenses I can see right now are their road licenses, not their oval licenses. The other one is the 45 of Mr. William Alcala. He's a 1.7 on road with a 2.8 A license. And he's still yet to put down a lap here in practice. Nice car though. Corey Williamson just about to head back out onto the track. And Brian Pizzacchini has made a mistake on the exit of turn 1. Kyle Kraus now actually takes over the second position in the standings. The 12.985. Well done. Pizzacchini and Chambers. Oh, Pizzacchini getting at all kinds of wrongs out of the final corner. These cars are a lot looser than the predecessors that we used to run. Current Gen Cup cars. It looks like some people are still just coming to grips with that. And I'm not sure how often they're using the fifth gear. I would assume that they're using it on the back straight just before the bus stop. Especially if you're in draft. There's Thomas Harmon in the draft with Jaron Sanchez. And no, I didn't see him clicking the fifth. So maybe there's not an option for fifth on this track as Harmon goes right into Sanchez and spins him out. There's Christian Budd, the 50 car. I don't think he'll have to worry about the whole draft package here today. In saying that, times are very close to himself and Kyle Kraus, Brian Pizzacchini and Thomas Harmon. Only about 4 tenths to separate those 4 drivers. There's a lot of time that can be made in just braking zones alone. Oh, in saying that, Christian Budd pushing a little bit too hard there, coming through turn 6. Got all kinds of wrong. There's Jonas Marquez in the 64. Good to see him back. Yeah, we also have a return from Zach Scott-Nicky, as I was alluding to earlier. Haven't seen Zach in a little bit. But just for a laugh, the strength of the field out of 23 cars is a 12.41. Because as I said, this is going off of everyone's road I ratings, not their oval I ratings. 12.41 out of 22 drivers plus one commentator. Brian Chambliss just moved up to P6. Oh, Frank got it wrong coming out of the final corner. That was a nice little pass there by Matt Horton on Alcala. And Alcala unfortunately getting it wrong there through turn 6. Oh, Frank. Getting it wrong coming out of the carousel. There's also Travis Massio running wide through the exit of turn 6, allowing Chris Champeau around him. Oh, then Chris getting it all kinds of wrong. And now we get to see the bottom of these next-gen cars in great detail. Until he toes. Couple of people missing the bus stop there. Oh, Bell Wells and Ken Campbell having a little bit of road rage in turn 1. Bell actually not doing too bad. She's currently 14th in the standings. As James Watson and Zach Scott-Nicky, unable to put down laps yet. No John Scott-Nicky here. Thomas Harmon making a move on Mark Pentecup. Does it very nicely there in turn 1. Mark runs a little bit wide, and here comes Matt Horton out of the pits. Travis Massey's got the 15 of Ken Campbell just behind him. This is meant to be one of the tracks where these next-gen cars are meant to excel quite incredibly, actually. Oh, and there's the 60 of Kyle Kraus. Come to a mischief coming out of the bus stop. Chambliss, Pentecoff, and Sanchez all having a nice little battle here. Sanchez is starting to pull away from these guys now. There goes Chambliss as well. Oh, and Mark getting it wrong there on that exit. There's Matt Horton, currently P2. He's got a 12.6. The Christian Budd's 12.4. But times are definitely coming down a little bit as everyone's getting used to the car and the way that it feels. And we should only be about 5 minutes away from going to a break here, as we are getting ready to get set for qualifying. There's the forward James Sanchez, he went around. Looks like John Lozelle also having some troubles there coming out of the S's. There's a 76, Mark Axelson. And the 50 of Christian Budd. As we're about 4 minutes away from the advancing of the session. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a stuff up the original session. So you know it says 12 minutes up on the clock there in the standings. It's not the way it's going to be. Ryan Pizzicami, currently P7 in the standings. He hasn't actually been able to improve on his time as the session's gotten on. There's Bell Wells, currently 15th. Just behind Bell is the 33, sorry, of Matt Horton. He's looking for a way around her. Oh, he's going for a big dive into the bus stop. And pulled that one off quite nicely, actually. It looks like it takes a couple of laps for these tyres to come up to temp. Because in the early laps when the tyres are cold, these things are pretty hard to control around here. Now that's some shenanigans between Frank and Mark Pentecoff there. I didn't actually see what happened, but shenanigans ensued. Well and truly. As we should only be about a minute away from going to qualifying here. And there it is. So we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll see the results from qualifying. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Watkins Glen International Raceway, and the grid has been set. Christian Budd's going to be starting off the pole with a 112.183. P2 went the way of Kyle Kraus, P3 Thomas Harmon, P4 the 33 Matt Horton, P5 TJ Crampton, P6 it's going to be the 21 of Brian Chambliss, P7 the 2 of Christian Poe. We've got William Alcala in 8th. Frank Isaacson 9th and Mark Axelson in 10th. So both of our rookies making it into the top 10. P11 is going to be the 13 car of Travis Massier, with 12th being the way of James Watson. Bell Wells in 13th. Ken Campbell in 14th. Brian Pizzakemi 15th. John Lozelle P16. Sam Niederhelm in 17th. Jonas Marquez in 18th. We've got Mark Pentacup 19th. Jaron Sanchez 20th, with Zach Scott Nicky 21st and Corey Williamson 22nd. But we're just waiting for everyone to get on the grid, and I don't think Scott Nicky or Williamson have actually made it to the grid. So there you go. 22 cars registered to race. 23 people in the session with myself included. Strength of field, as I said earlier, a 1241 because it's going off their road eye ratings. And we're getting ready for 42 laps around this man-made hell that we know as the Watkins Glen International Raceway. I'm your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and we are here with the Output Racing League in the next gen cars. Don't forget, if you're watching the race replay here on YouTube, to like, comment, and subscribe. And come check us out on Twitch for the live broadcasts at twitch.tv/Aussie_sim_commentator. Tuesday nights from 11:20 p.m. Eastern, which works out to be 11:20 in the morning for me in Western Australia. See some cars here electing to go through the bus stop rather than around it. That is completely okay. They're not going to get penalised for that. Just so you know, no one hits each other before the race starts. Right, the car's going to come out of turn 7. The pace car is going to go into the pits. And we're getting ready. The first start is on green. All the restarts, which there won't be any, will be on the leader. And Christian Budd's going to lead us away for the start of lap number 1. Kyle Kraus actually holding on pretty strong to his outside. We're looking back through the field. There's a couple of lockups. Christian Budd comes out with the advantage. Everyone giving a lot of room there in turn 1. No one wants to be the first to have a crash. We've set the cameras onto focus on crashes just in case something happens here on the first lap. The opening couple of laps, these things are very, very hard to handle on fresh tyres. But for the most part, it looks like everyone has made it through thus far. No one has fallen off the track at all. There's the 39 of James Watson running a little bit wide. Travis Massier behind him. There's Belle Wells, who has Brian Pizzakemi all over her tail. As the last of the cars start filing through the final corner. The first lap in the books. And the 50 of Christian Budd leading the way. There he is, the number 50. He's already through turn 1 before everyone has gotten across the start-finish line. And he's already starting to pull away from what is the 38 of Thomas Harmon now in P2. There he is. Got Kyle Kraus sitting there in third. TJ Crampton in fourth. TJ is definitely a bit of a ringer in these situations, as I've clicked on the wrong person. That's TJ right there. Okay, TJ's a little bit of a dark horse in this race. He'll find his way towards the front eventually, but he's got to get around two cars to get towards Christian Budd. We seem to be very strong in the trucks at Mosport, but this is an entirely different beast to those trucks. Oh, and I think we've already lost one. 78 of Brian Pizzakemi having a mistake coming into turn 6. Let's see what happened to him. He's in the braking zone for turn 6 on the outside. And is there contact? Nope. To make sure there wasn't contact, he had to straighten up his steering a little bit there. I think he was expecting the 76 to go and turn a little bit sooner than he did. And that's what led to him going off the track and now down in 20th position. We're having a look for some battles around the track. There is one. The 38, Thomas Harmon, has made a mistake coming out of the bus stop. And that has allowed Kyle Kraus through. TJ Crampton looking for a way around as well. Although Thomas trying to fight back on Kraus. Going to be on the outside here for the final corner, but he's going to make the move. Couldn't quite get it to stick yet, though. Let's see what they can do here down the front stretch. And there's still just that little bit of overlap. Kyle Kraus is still right there on his inside. Very deep into turn number 1, and Thomas Harmon comes out on top in that situation. The 61 of TJ Crampton looking for a way around Kyle Kraus now. Whether he'll be able to find one or not is going to be a different story. We've also got Matt Horton in this little battle, just sitting there waiting patiently. He's waiting for any one of these three ahead of him just to make a little bit of a mistake. And Brian Chambliss also looking to jump onto the tail of this little battle. We look further back, I saw another little battle forming. The 24 Frank Isaacson and the 76 of Mark Axelson. Behind them is another large group of cars, but we're going to go back to this little battle we were watching earlier. And I think Kyle Kraus has made a mistake, so has TJ Crampton, because they've both just fallen off the back of Thomas Harmon, and now Matt Horton takes the advantage and moves himself up into the podium position. I'm not sure what happened there in that final corner, but that definitely opened things up here. Now this battle has reformed. Thomas Harmon has gotten back to the point, back into P2. And there's TJ Crampton now trying to make a move on his inside. And TJ had the move made in turn 1, but Thomas Harmon fighting back on his inside. we just had a message come through that the 78 and 45 have had a crash. I can see the 48 is well and truly behind. I can't see where the 78 of Pizzacemi is. Oh, now I see him. So they've had a crash a little bit ago. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go back and have a look at it. And this battle is just continuing on. Going to go back to focusing on crashes. And it keeps us here with Thomas Harmon. Oh! TJ Crampton losing all sight of his braking markers. He has just fallen big time down the order. He was sitting in third, now he's sitting down in P6. Oh, that is horrible. We're still sticking with this battle towards the front. We're looking at Matt Horton, who's just in behind Kyle Kraus. As the laps are continually ticking down, we're already on lap 8 of 42. So we've already got 7 laps absolutely in the books. And the lead that Christian Budd has is insurmountable at the moment. It's already out to 9 seconds. Oh, Thomas Harmon has made a mistake. Kyle Kraus also running through the grass there. We can see what happened to these guys. So, move this one along. Oh no, Kyle Kraus. A little bit too deep on the brakes. You saw he had a lockup. And got right into the back of Thomas Harmon. That's where those two had a mistake. And Kyle Kraus not redressing the issue either. So that could end up being a little bit of something. Let's go back to focusing on the El Recos. See where we end up. We're still sitting here with Thomas Harmon at the moment. Apparently iRacing thinks he's going to be the next El Reco. Oh, who's that that's made a mistake? Was that Matt Horton? That was Matt Horton. What happened to Matt coming through the carousel? He's just sitting there comfortably with a little bit of a gap to Kyle Kraus. Oh, he got onto the grass. Oh, and just tapped that inside wall. And just about come straight back across and into the path of Thomas Harmon. And he is now in the pits looking to get some damage fixed. Bell Wells in there as well. So too John Lazelle. So a few people falling victim to Watkins already. So it seems that the fall off on these tyres is pretty steep. We're only 10 laps into this race, and if people are starting to fall off already, that's pretty crazy. So what we might actually do here is we're going to open up the radio waves here, see what these drivers are talking about, because I'm sure there'll be some complaints going on about the tyre model. See what these guys have to say when we find out. We're currently focused on William Alcala and the 45 car, currently sitting 14th, just in front of him, Sam Niederholm, the 66. Sam trying to battle it out with Ken Campbell. But Christian Bud absolutely in his own postcode right now. And it looks like Niederholm's actually made a mistake here, going wide in the carousel. Going to lose out on quite a few positions there. Even Brian Pizzakemi getting around him. Oh, big dive from Alcala on Campbell. And he makes that move stick. Campbell went wide. Pizzakemi's got him. And it seems as soon as I've opened up the radio waves, everyone's gone quiet. I'm sure it won't take too long before we find out what these guys are saying. There's Ken Campbell. He's trying to now hold off Matt Horton, who's come out of the pits. Horton gets around him pretty smartly. I think the reason why we're not hearing the drivers talking so much is because they're all talking in Discord. They're metagaming. Sorry, that's a little bit of roleplay humor. When two worlds combined. But there is Mark Axelson, and he's gone very wide coming through turn 6. Loses a position to Travis Massia. Still holding on to his top 10 though, which is great to see. But now he is on the bubble of the top 10. There's Chris Champeau. Catching up to the back of the lap down, John Lazelle. And I think we're going to go for a quick commercial break here. And when we come back, we'll be going to the green flag pit stops. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Gladiator at the Glen, here from the Watkins Glen International Raceway. We're currently on board the Speedway Memes blimp, just having a look at some of the action from the bird's eye perspective. And we're already over a third of the way into this race. There is William Alcala, the 45 car, still holding on to his P10, but he's got Brian Pizzakemi right there behind him. These guys pushing pretty hard going up through the S's. There's Pizzakemi. We're also catching up to the back of the 13 of Travis Massey.
Solo now, Brian.
Do it.
That's Horton and Pizzakemi talking.
What's this, myself there?
Oh, nice little drift there by Matt Horton. Here these drivers are communicating with each other over the driver chat. Just making sure everyone can get around everyone nicely and safely.
I'm not delusional. You guys can get it too.
Sounds like Travis Massey are not having a good time out here at Watkins today. And I can see on my little mini-map the 5 of Mark Pentacup has gone a lap down. As you see there, Travis Massey getting out of the way for Pizzakemi and for Matt Horton. It's going to put Massey down into 12th. Pizzakemi now in the top 10. And here comes Matt Horton to try and take it away from him. Up on the inside of turn 6. That's going to turn the outside for the final corner, turn 7. And Pizzakemi lets him have it.
Matt, what happened to the agreement?
No, it's in fine.
Yeah, fair enough.
A little bit of wheeler dealing going on between a couple of the drivers, apparently. As we're now looking at Thomas Harmon, who's just gotten around a lap down car of John Lazelle. Lazelle down in 18th at the moment. In that 23 car. There's that Scott Nicky and Corey Williamson not taking the grid. I think maybe there was a technical infringement there. And Bell Wells and Jaron Sanchez, 1 and 2 laps down respectively, in 19th and 20th. And here comes John Lazelle actually trying to battle back on Thomas Harmon now. Up the inside he goes. He's probably got fresher tyres. Very deep under brakes was John Lazelle. I think Thomas might be looking after his stuff a little bit here. It looks like we're also getting some pit stops now. As I can see someone rolling in through the pits. Who is that? It's TJ Crampton and Travis Massey are both rolling through the pits. This battle is starting to heat up here between Horton and Isaacson and Crampton. Crampton, who has just pitted, starting to fight his way back through the field. Christian Budd's coming to the pits this time as we've now reached our halfway point. 21 down, 21 to go. I think we'll be seeing a lot of pit road activity now as Chambliss and Harmon are both in as well. And Crampton was just trying to do that little bit of an undercut. As fresh tyres can be really important, but you've got to get through the traffic to be able to use them. As now Frank goes into the pits. Christian Budd is already well and truly out of the pits, and he has clear track ahead of him. think the smart play here probably would have been more of an overcut rather than an undercut to try and get your way through the traffic faster, because you wouldn't end up in traffic unless they were going a lap down. But now it's just Kyle Kraus, Chris Champeau, William Alcala and Brian Piscami who are yet to pit, and Kraus has come in this time. And it looks like the two of Chris Champeau electing to stay out on track. So he's now going to take the lead. Kyle Kraus was scored as the leader for the last lap, which gets him a bonus point for that. And there is TJ Crampton. He's going to take over third when he gets around Kyle, which has just happened. And I'm not sure if Chris Champeau is actually going to be able to lead a lap here, because the 50 of... Oh, someone's gone off. Who was that? I think that was Axelson that went off at the bus stop. But there's the gap between Champeau and Bud, and Champeau has to pit here very shortly or else he'll probably run out of fuel. But he could also be trying to play the lighter fuel with fresher tyres strategy for when he does eventually go into the pits. And Christian Budd unable to lead this lap, so Chris Champeau is officially going to lead a lap as well. There's going to be some more bonus points there. As we go back to focusing on crashes, there's Matt Horton in the 33.
Tires, Kyle.
It was just given a friendly reminder there to Horton that Horton is on cold tires.
They go on the.
But Christian Budd has another huge lead once more. Oh,
My bad,
the
I didn't hear
block
what you
from
said.
Harmon on Horton.
Yeah, so I was going to go inside, but sorry. That was awkward, but we made it.
And that was Mark Pentecoff getting well and truly out of the way of the leaders. Ken Campbell there as well. And Chris Champeau comes into the pits. Campbell moves his way up into 14th around Mark. And Mark still has to pit as well, actually. There's Travis Massier in the 13. He's currently in 16th. Sandwiched between Pentecoff and Axelson. Oh, the big speed difference there in tyres. As now Mark gets a lockup going and goes straight into turn one. Jonas Marquez looking to join in on this battle as well. Just a little bit behind these guys is Jaron Sanchez, who was 2 laps down. Sanchez not having the greatest of times as Marquez goes around the outside of Axelson in turn 4. And I think we're going to take this opportunity to go for our final commercial break. Maybe not. We'll wait just a couple of minutes here. Because I can't run an advert just yet, apparently. Sometimes Twitch be weird. Alright, so we're going to go to our commercial break now. When we come back, we'll be going to the checkered flag, so make sure you guys stay tuned. And we are back here for the Gladiator at the Glen from the Watkins Glen International Raceway. And we're currently having a look at Christian Budd from the Speedway Memes Blint Cam. And he actually has a 20-second lead over TJ Crampton in P2 right now. It's such a big lead that you can't actually see TJ on the camera here. I'm just looking for where he is on track. And he's just coming out of the carousel as Christian Budd was coming out of the final corner. That's how big of a lead Christian Budd has right now. Absolutely incredible. Let's get back down nitty gritty with the action. There's TJ Crampton getting around Jaron Sanchez. Sanchez, who is quite a fair bit back behind. League owner and operator is Jaron Sanchez. We're focusing on him now as Kyle Kraus is coming up from behind him. He's going to take the make the move here coming into the bus stop.
Man, I'm going right here. You go on the left side.
There's quite a few cars in this one little area. And I'm just having a look. We've only got 12 cars left on the lead lap as it stands. Sometimes I wish we would have some more cautions. Just because it makes things interesting. There's TJ Crampton as Travis Massiot gets well and truly out of the way. Kyle Kraus looking to get that second step on the podium.
Go ahead, Christian.
There's Ken Campbell in the 15, currently in P16. He's got Jonas Marquez just behind him that he's battling for position, but we're going to keep an eye on this little battle between the 60 and the 61. These guys squabbling over the second position. TJ going defensive coming out of the carousel. Kyle Kraus getting a little bit sideways. Allowed TJ to pull away a little bit here. Did that one little mistake. And these guys also have quite the handy little gap over Thomas Harmon. That one's to the tune of about 2.5 seconds that they got over Thomas. Kyle Kraus has definitely got some pace right now. He's got 2 lap fresher tyres than TJ. And from what I hear, the tyre drop-off is pretty severe. And it's not even tyre wear. It's just the heat cycles on the tyres that make them go to shit. So it could also be a little bit of Kyle looking after his tyres just slightly better than what TJ is right now.
Thank you.
And now the battle has resumed. We've got 10 laps to go when these guys get to the start-finish line. They got 10 more revolutions on this track, which will be about, I don't know, a little bit over 25 minutes. Sorry, a little bit over 15 minutes left in this race. And this is definitely the most interesting battle we got on the track at the moment. Now let's see what Kyle can do on the back straight. Will he make a move going into the bus stop? Taking a slightly wider line through turn 4 there. Trying to get the momentum up. Can't quite do it this time. His next opportunity will be turn 6 to try and make a move, unless he can get TJ to make a mistake beforehand. And he's looking to the outside of the carousel. Can he make that move stick? Not quite this time. He diamonds off the corner, gets back into the draft. And he's still just going to sit there on the tail of TJ. Now the next opportunity, turn number 1. It's a great passing opportunity there. And he's looking for it. He goes for the big dive. Couldn't quite get his nose up there. TJ still left in the room, surprisingly. TJ trying to go for a decent points haul. Unable to hold him, unable to be too aggressive because he's been doing pretty well in the season so far. As they both get around the slow car of Mark Pentecoff, who decided to stay up on the inside of the track. And this is the closest that I've seen Kyle Kraus be for a while. Kyle Kraus immediately over to the right side of the track. TJ just getting over there nicely and smoothly. Not being too aggressive with the way that he's moving his wheel. And Thomas Harmon catching up to these guys actually now. It's only 2 seconds back. He was nearly 3 seconds just not long ago. It's only the matter of about a few laps ago, actually. See Kyle pushing the absolute limit of that next-gen NASCAR. Look how close he got in the bus stop. Wow. He closed up a ton to TJ that time. Taking an extremely wide line. He's cutting back down. He wants to try and get some momentum for this straightaway here, leading to turn 6. But that closing rate in the bus stop, that was incredible. Let's have a look from his bumper cam at how he's going here. We're going to sit on board with him for a full lap. So let's crank it up and have a listen. There you go. That was a lap on board with Kyle Kraus. As he's still chasing on the tail of TJ Crampton here. And just look at these guys go. As I said, this is the battle for second place right now. As we're already 5 to go. 4 laps to go when Christian reaches the start-finish line. He has a full half a lap lead on these guys. And there's only 9 cars left on the lead lap. And Thomas Harmon unable to catch up to these guys any more than what he has. He's dropped back to 2.7 seconds. But you can see Kyle desperately wants to try and take over that second position. TJ not wanting to have a bar of it. And here comes the big dive into turn one. Not going to be able to do it. This time TJ covers the line. But you can see the brakes in that 60 car glowing red as he was on them so hard coming into turn one then. It looks like Kyle actually has quite a bit of front brake bias dialed in. And look at the closing rate in the bus stop. It's incredible the run that Kyle gets into the bus stop and then into the carousel. Unfortunately, he just can't do anything with it. See, he's trying to stay as close as he can to TJ right now. And he's going to have half an opportunity here this time on the front stretch. As there's now only 3 laps to go for these guys. 2.5 for our leader. And it looks like Sam Niederhelm's trying to experiment with some alternate dimensions. So he's very smartly getting out of the way here for these guys. Again, look at the closing rate for Kyle Kraus coming through the bus stop. If he can get the first half of the lap figured out, then he's got an opportunity waiting for him in the second half of the lap. As when these guys come to the line, it's going to be 2 to go for them. I think our leader, Christian Budd, started to just chill out a bit now. He doesn't need to push as hard as he was. He could probably go half throttle for the rest of the race and still win it. That's how much of a lead he's got. Look at the front brake discs. Just absolutely glowing with how much these two are both on the brakes. And looked like maybe a little bit of a cheeky brake test there from TJ on Kyle there in the middle of one. Here comes Kyle. Is he going to make a move into the bus stop this time? Not going to be able to get it done. TJ's going a little bit defensive as well. Kyle right back onto his bumper. And these are big, heavy cars. Getting them pulled up is not easy, and Kyle is absolutely 100% beating TJ as far as braking performance is going. As our leader is on the final lap, that's the 50 of Christian Budd. He's making his way up through the S's for the final time. And it looks like Kyle might have made a mistake. He's lost a lot of ground on TJ. I think that's going to be all she wrote for that little battle, so we're going to go back to having a look at our leader, the 50 of Christian Budd. I've said it before, he's been the most dominant champion that we've had in recent time. And he really doesn't like these cars. But none of that matters here at Watkins Glen, because he's only got 2 more corners to negotiate, turn 6 and turn 7. And as long as he doesn't make a mistake, which he doesn't usually do, your winner here for the Gladiator at the Glen is going to be the 50 car of Christian Budd. Let's go back to having a look at our battle for second. It is still definitely on. As they come through the final 2 corners, Kyle still has a chance if he uses the bumper here into the final corner. And it doesn't look like he will. So second place is going to go the way of TJ Crampton, with Kyle Kraus in third. Go catch up with our leader now, the 50 of Christian Budd. And he won by a long way. He'll be absolutely delighted with that result. We're just going to wait for him to come to the front stretch, see if he's going to do some celebratory burnouts. Because everyone has now finished the race. And here we go, burnout time. There's the smoke coming out of the rear wheels. All right, stay tuned. We're going to go to another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have driver interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, guys. Normally, when we kick off the interviews, we start off with the Hard Charger Award, but we can't do that just yet. So we're going to start with our third place getter here today, and today's third place getter is going to be the 60 car of Kyle Kraus. Kyle, uh, very great racing there, especially towards the end between yourself and TJ, but a little bit of a different feel for these cars around a road course.
Yeah, it's a little different. It didn't have a lot of grip in the rear end, so you had to be kind of careful off the throttle. It reminds me more of racing the previous gen cars at Coda, how you've had to really baby baby it the whole way around. But it's still a lot of fun. Good racing there with TJ.
Now let's talk about the race as a whole. It's definitely very different when we come to a road course because action can be pretty sporadic. The hashtag pockets of excitement start coming out. What was the race like for you? As a whole, like what was the standout point for you?
When you're here, you just have to run your race. Without cautions, you just kind of do keep your own pace and do your thing. Pit when you need to pit. Um, it hurt me a little bit because I stayed out one lap longer because I wanted to lead a lap just to get the bonus point. Because I feel like it's going to be really important this season. That let TJ get back in front of me, and it was just tough to pass. That was a nice close battle there at the end. I really wanted to get around him.
It definitely looked like it was a very intense battle, and I saw a few times, you'd go for a look into turn one, but how was the closing rate for you coming into the bus stop? I made mention several times the way you closed in onto his tail going into the bus stop and then just stayed there all the way through the carousel. It just seemed that you had that slight better braking performance than TJ in those occasions.
Yeah, I was just joking with him in the waiting room. He was so slow through the bus stop. But it was fun. No, it was a good spot for me to catch up to him. And he did a good job of keeping it low coming out of the bus stop into the carousel, and I couldn't get under him. And there's just not enough banking in the carousel to pass on the high side. So I'd try and time it where I could get a run coming off the carousel, but that's like a really slippery part. I definitely almost lost it there once. But yeah, the bus stop that was where I had my chance.
All right, Kyle. Let's look forward towards next week, of which the information I don't have up. Give me just a second. Next week, we're going to be heading to Rockingham. So, what's the feeling like for you heading into the short, bumpy Rockingham Oval?
I love Rockingham, but I imagine it's going to be terrible in these cars. They're so low to the ground; they bottom out like crazy. So I'm curious to see how it handles there. I'm looking for a little bit of revenge from Rockingham when we were there in the ARCA cars because I felt really fast and then killed myself by getting a speeding penalty. So I'm looking forward to being back.
All right, Kyle. Before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Of course, Corey. Thanks as always to you for the broadcast. Thanks to Jaron and the admins and all the drivers for showing up every week. Such a great league. And thanks to the family for letting me get away.
All right, thank you very much for coming out, Kyle. Congratulations on getting the podium, and be awesome to see what you can do next week when we head to Rockingham.
Thanks.
All right, guys. So that was our third place getter here tonight, Mr. Kyle Kraus. Coming up next, we're going to have our Hard Charger Award winner, and today's Hard Charger Award is going the way of our second place getter here tonight. And our second place getter is, of course, Mr. TJ Crampton. TJ getting the Hard Charger Award and getting second place with a pretty sweet battle there at the end as well. First of all, how do you feel?
I very tired. That was a workout for sure. It's nice to get at the Hard Charger Award again. I believe I that's 2 weeks in a row where I've gotten the Hard Charger Award. So uh, very neat to have, and it's just so tough to pass. I was just able to get by everyone on the first lap because everyone kind of just went wide. Um, and just I did the undercut, and I was just able to get by Kyle.
I mean, let's talk about the race here a little bit. It was a bit of a you know long drawn out race, of course, no caution, so nothing to really break the monotony of just doing laps. What was it like for you, just trying to deal with the mental fatigue of just running laps and trying not to stuff up?
Yeah, with these cars, it's really tough. You have to be hard on the brakes, and the brakes you would think would be better on this new car, but I would say that they're worse for sure, but I don't. They might be twice as worse even. So yeah, from racing the current Cup cars to the next gen, you kind of have to rewire your brain on how to drive this track. So I had to back up my braking zones a good. I would say maybe a whole number board and maybe even further for some corners. So it was definitely rough to not make a mistake, especially with Kyle hounding my rear bumper every lap. But I feel like I did a pretty good job, and to come with second is pretty good.
Now let's talk about that little battle with Kyle. He actually commended you on the way that you came into the carousel each and every single lap. What was that like? Just trying to keep him behind you at all costs, especially with the closing speed that he had on you coming into the bus stop.
Yeah, like what Hugh said, we were joking about it in the chat, and I just if I went any deeper than what I was going into that bus stop, I was gonna go off. I don't know why. It's just my car could not handle the bus stop the way Kyle's did. So I don't know if it's just because I wore out my front tires or if it was just the way I was doing the bus stop or something. But he was just able to catch up to me. But it was a really good battle, and I was joking about with him as well. In other leagues and just in general at road courses, it's always so spread out, so you never really get to battle anyone because everyone either wrecks themselves or wrecks each other. And to have a good battle at a road course was pretty fun.
It definitely looked like a lot of fun out there. But let's look forward to next week now, TJ. Next week we're going to the Rockingham Speedway. What's it feeling like for you heading to old bumpy Rockingham?
I've only driven there once, and I'm pretty sure you know what happened at that one time. It was a few years ago now with the old Xfinity cars with the Camry, Camaro, and the Mustang, the old legacy cars, and I was leading. I was doing good. It was like the third race I was in the league or something. It was like 2018 or 2019 or something like that, and I was leading, and I think I spun out and hit the wall and wrecked myself from the lead. So I've only driven. That's the only time I've ever been to Rockingham. I haven't been there uh, since. So it's hopefully I can do better than what I did last time.
All right, mate. Before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank Jaron for putting up the league. This is always fun to come out here and race. I want to thank you for the broadcast. It's always great to rewatch it. And of course, I want to thank my friends at JEM E-Racing, Matthew Van Gelder, the team owner, and I want to thank my friend who's probably watching, Nathan.
All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for coming out. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Rockingham.
Yeah, thank you, Corey.
All right, guys. That was our second place getter and a Hard Charger Award winner, Mr. TJ Crampton. Coming up next, we're going to have our winner from here tonight. And today's winner, by a long way, returning to the form that we know that he has. Of course, it's the 50 of Mr. Christian Bud. Christian, that was definitely a bit of a cruisy race for you, especially since you weren't caught up in that battle that TJ and Kyle were having towards the end of the race.
Yeah, for me, it was very uneventful. I was able to get clear in the first corner and then just kind of set sail. Um, and I think those guys got to racing back there a little bit. And once they did, and the gap opened up, you know, with the road course, yeah, there's not a lot of opportunity to make up that gap. And then felt like in practice, I was turning the fastest laps and obviously qualified on a pole. So you know, in that situation, pretty much just drive away. Don't make any mistakes. Don't crash your car and speed on pit road and all that stuff.
So it was all just a bit. What I'm hearing is this race of just managing yourself because you were out to such a big lead and making sure you don't get yourself into mischief. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Kyle and I were just talking, but this car is a little bit easier to drive than the other ones. Y- you say it's good on road courses, and it's good because it has more grip, really, to me. And especially the big thing is on the old car, you could get the rear end wheel hopping and really get yourself out of shape or blow a corner. And with this car, that's not a thing at all. Going down into turn one at Watkins Glen is always, you kind of hold your breath a little bit and you can just kind of drive in there, hit your brakes, downshift, make your corner, and go. So I thought there was a lot less opportunity to make a big mistake, like I think we saw the last time we were here with the cup cars or something like that. And Jonathan and I had a really really good battle because we were wheel hopping.
All right, mate. Now let's look forward to next week. We're going into old bumpy Rockingham. What's the feeling like for you with how low these cars are heading into such a treacherous and bumpy track?
Um, Man, I hope they're fun to drive. It's always, setup's going to be a big part of it. Hopefully they're not really gripped up to where, we're just uh, hitting the gas and rolling right off the corner. We have to manage the throttle a little bit would be nice. But again, I've got such limited experience with this. So far we've driven a big cat track a couple times and now a road course. So try and see what it'll do on a slicker, shorter version.
All right. Before we let you go here, Christian, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, just output racing. Obviously, putting on these races is it's a lot of fun. Good group of guys. Had a couple new guys in here tonight. Hopefully, they had fun. It's a road course. It's a little different than what we normally do. So, if they didn't like that, hopefully they'll hang around and check out our other races. But seemed like they were having fun. And also Smith Sim Racing and last race of the Road to Pro coming up here. So, gonna do that and then have a little time off.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Christian. Congratulations on bagging yourself the first win for your season here. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Rockingham.
As always, I appreciate it.
All right, guys. So that was our winner here tonight, the 50 car of Mr. Christian Budd. And that is going to wrap up our broadcast here for this evening. I'd like to thank you all for coming out. Don't forget, if you're watching this as a replay back on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next week, when we go to Rockingham, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and we'll see you next week.